A few months ago, one of our many awesome kids who go to Sunday school at our church came up to me after church and said, "You said we can ask you questions, right? So I can ask you a question?" "Of course," I said. "My mom told me that God is beyond gender. But in that prayer that you pray, you say our Father and Mother. So what's with that?" So she was referring to how we do the Lord's Prayer in our church. We say, "Our Father and Mother who art in heaven." And so she's, hearing that and saying to herself, well, wait a minute. Here are people in church calling God Father and Mother, but Mom just told me that God is beyond gender. So what's going on here? And I love this. Because I've had people, adults, come up to me after church and say, "I caught the way that you add mother to the Lord's Prayer, and what's with that? That isn't right. It's not in the Bible. It's God the Father, period." So I love that with this kid, the controversy was with putting a gender on God at all. And so I think we're doing good work, folks, and good job, Mom, especially. And what I told her is that, yeah, she's right. And her mom's right, more to the point. God is not some guy with a beard on a throne in the sky, or a woman with a beard on a throne in the sky. God doesn't have gender. God is infinite. God is eternal. God is the source of everything that is and beyond all that. And moreover, most living things don't even have biological sexes. Our sense of gender is just so limited. Bacteria far, far outweigh humans in terms of biomass, and they don't have sexes or genders. Earthworms they're more than 10 times more earthworms by mass than humans, and earthworms are hermaphrodites. And God created them too. Stars, black holes, gender doesn't apply. And gender does not apply to God. It's just the wrong kind of category of things. And at the same time, God is not only some amazing, powerful spirit way off in the cosmos. God comes to us so that we can have a relationship with God. And God comes to us in ways that we can understand and relate to. And so this can feel like it is to be with a mother who gives birth to us, who nurses us and nurtures us at his best. Or that can feel to us like a father who supports us and guides us and protects us. Or God can feel to us to be like a teacher or a leader, like Jesus, a healer. And how we imagine God is very important. And we need to imagine God. We need to have some images and words for God to begin to be drawn into a relationship with what is truly transcendent and awesome. And how we imagine that is important because it can direct us and shape how we are able to experience God and how open we are to different aspects of God and how closed and limited we may be to what God has to offer us. Clinging to our images for God too tightly turns into idolatry, and that can end up then destroying the possibility. Well, the possibility is always there, but destroying us saying yes to the opportunity to know God more deeply and to know ourselves more deeply. And so for Mother's Day, I want to lift up those images of God that are images of a strong female nature. The Bible mostly presents God in masculine terms. There are also lots and lots of images for God that are non or more than human. They're images from the natural world, poetry that takes us way beyond the bounds of human realms. And in the Bible, it doesn't get much press, but in the Bible, there are powerful times when the divine speaks with a female voice. And these moments in Scripture are particularly powerful in how they express connection and comfort and challenge and wisdom. It's with a female voice, perhaps, that we can best experience how God connects with us, how in those ways, how God connects with us, comforts us, challenges us, offers us wisdom. We have a deep, deep need for that these days. So in the book of Isaiah, God speaks with a mother's voice, saying, "As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem." And can a woman forget her nursing child or show no compassion for the child of her womb? Even these may forget, and yet I will not forget you. So these are words of connection and words of comfort. And as we hear in Psalm 131, "I have calmed and quieted my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother, my soul is like a weaned child with me." And there are words of fiery challenge. In the book of Proverbs, the wisdom of God is a female character. Wisdom, Chokmah, was the first of God's creation, we hear. And it was only with her, only through wisdom, that God is able to create everything else. And she pervades the universe as the fundamental order of creation. And when she speaks to us, it's heard as a powerful female voice, challenging us to live in wise and prudent ways. So from the books of Proverbs, Lady Wisdom goes out in the street and shouts. At the town center, she makes her speech. In the middle of the traffic, she takes her stand. At the busiest corner, she calls out, "You simpletons, how long will you wallow in ignorance? You cynics, how long will you feed your cynicism? You idiots, how long will you refuse to learn? You got to turn yourself around. I can revise your life. Look, I'm ready to pour out my spirit on you. I'm ready to tell you all that I know. But as it is, I've called, but you've turned a deaf ear. I've reached out to you, and you've ignored me. And because you've hated knowledge and had nothing to do with reverence for God, because you wouldn't take my advice, you've brushed it aside, all my offers to train you. Well, you've made your bed, and now you're going to lie in it. You wanted your own way? Now you have it. And how do you like that? Don't you see, you simpletons, you idiots? Carelessness kills. Complacency is murder. So first pay attention to me. And then you can relax. You can take it easy. You're in good hands." And then later in the book of Proverbs, it says, you're blessed when you meet Lady Wisdom, when you make friends with Madame Insight. She's worth far more than any money in the bank. Her friendship is better than a large salary. Her value exceeds all the trappings of wealth. Nothing you wish for could hold a candle to her. With one hand, she gives long life, and on the other hand, she confers recognition. Her manner is beautiful, her life wonderfully complete. She's the very tree of life for those who embrace her, so hold on tight and be blessed. Carelessness kills. Complacency is murder. So I dare say in the midst of the crisis we're in, we need to hear and to heed what we hear in this feminine voice of the divine, which comes through Scripture. Connection, comfort, challenge, wisdom, because carelessness kills and complacency is murder. And we need a renewal of the Spirit that cares for and shares with and seeks the uplift of all humanity. We need the same Spirit that was at work in the followers of Jesus, who Scripture says in our reading for today, they lived in wonderful harmony, holding everything in common. They sold whatever they owned and pooled their resources so that each person's need was met. And so let me end with a word from the writer and the biologist, Robin Wall Kimmerer, speaking really about the wisdom that pervades the created universe that we can learn from when we study how ecosystems work. This is from her book, Braiding Sweetgrass. When times are easy and there's plenty to go around, individual species can go it alone. But when conditions are harsh and life is tenuous, it takes a team sworn to reciprocity to keep life going forward. In a world of scarcity, interconnection and mutual aid become critical for survival. And so I pray that we may all be blessed and led by God's wisdom in these times, as in all times, but especially when the need is greatest to be caring for each of us and all of us, not only in our neighborhoods, but across the globe. And so may you be blessed, may you be well, may you be at peace. Thanks be to God.